My life has been built by immigrants. Immigrating to Hawaii before it was illegally stolen by the so-called United States, my great-great-grandparents came with the first wave of the Cicadas, which were a group of Filipino labor workers exploited by the Hawaiian Sugar Planters Association. Despite being paid as little as 90 cents a day, my ancestors made the decision to stay in Hawaii because at the time, that was better than their life in the Philippines. I owe the life that I have to the work of immigrants. Immigrants who one day hoped to go back to their home country, but instead chose to uproot everything that they knew in hopes that their descendants could live a better life than their own. My life is a direct reflection of all of the sacrifices and sleepless nights that those who came before me had to endure. The voice that I use loudly now comes from the generations of my family's voices that went unheard. Those who were told to take what they could get, stay quiet, and make themselves small and unnoticeable. Their resilience and struggles created the foundation for my desire to advocate for those who are in their exact positions today. Immigrants now who still have to take what they can get, make themselves small, and hope that their sacrifices will one day manifest in a successful life for their children. My family's immigration story is not unique. It was a story of survival, a story of hope, and a story that was taken advantage of by their oppressors. As I look at this world as it is today, all I can think about is how many families exactly like mine, who have the same hopes and dreams, are being stripped away from each other because this country has painted them as illegal animals. How many kids with the exact passions and hobbies that I had have to be taken away to unknown locations and be used as bait, worrying about how much school they are missing because their lives did not always revolve around the fear of simply existing? And how many parents who have the exact same obligations as my great-great-grandparents did to pave the way for their family have to be detained, go missing, or be killed? This country has placed unnecessary fear and anger toward the exact same communities that this country has benefited from. They villainize the very people that my grandparents and great-great-grandparents were. So if for any second someone tells you that this does not affect me or you, it does. Whether you can trace the first immigrant in your family easily or not, we all come from lines of immigrants, refugees, enslaved, and people exploited in one way or another for the benefit of white America. We continue to occupy indigenous lands while this country continues to convince you that immigrants are the problem. They continue to convince us to point fingers at each other, to turn a blind eye, and to say it's not my problem. This country continues to convince you that those undocumented should have done it the right way, when in reality, has this country ever done things the right way? My family found its roots on land that was violently taken from its indigenous people due to the unfortunate fact that their own roots in the Philippines were being ripped out because of the US colonial immigration policies happening there. This cycle of exploitation from our oppressors with the simultaneous benefiting of other minorities is what our ancestors were unfortunately partaking in due to their own desire for survival. And this cycle continues to be perpetuated for us to partake in, whether we are conscious of it or not. But this cycle does not have to continue. Our ancestors lived in survival mode in hopes that one day their family will be able to find belonging without fear of discrimination or prejudice. And although that day has not been fulfilled, we have the obligation as children and grandchildren of immigrants to use our voices and create the future our ancestors dreamed of generations ago. As I stand here now, I fight the fear that this country has placed within me and use this fear to amplify my voice to advocate for the communities that have way more targets on their backs than my own. Despite the censorship this administration continues to push onto us, I will not allow them to take away my voice that my ancestors fought generations for. Tonight, I hope that something I said carries enough weight for you to move in your own ways of protest and resistance. We should not allow others to scare us into silence, to turn a blind eye, and to say it's not my problem, because I know our unity in numbers will one day progress to the day we see the abolishment of these racist regimes and violent attacks on our community. So despite this country suppressing our rights to live without fear or discrimination, I ask you to carry your heritage with confidence, shape the fear that you may feel into action, and carry forward the spirits of those who came before you in order to shine a brighter light for those who come after us. Immigrants make America great, and no one is illegal on stolen land.